Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're gonna be doing nails on my girl, Handiana. I'm gonna be doing some tropical nail designs. We're gonna be doing some crystals, little gems and pearls, and then even some 3D nail art. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Getting ready to today's video, we're going to be starting off by applying some acrylic as our base for our practice hand. I did go ahead and pre-prep using the Easy Prep system from Veeda. And if you are curious as to what that is, we have tutorials linked on our website, so I will leave those linked in the description box down below if you guys are interested and own one of our practice hands, of course. We're going to be going in. This is the shade Fiesta Sista from Not Polish. Absolutely love this beautiful pink color. I'm just going to be using that as my base. For reference, I am using a size 12 acrylic brush from Not Polish. And then for my liquid monomer, I am using Kiara Sky monomer. Now my hand, to give a little bit of insight, is our half hand Gen 2 magnetic hand, of course. And it is in the tone Honey, which is my favorite. I think she is stunning. I have named her Handiana, so I thought that was kind of funny. If you guys have any more fun hand names, I will be using different tones across my platforms and sharing designs with you guys on those hands. So I need to come up with good names that are clever for my practice hands. So let me know down below in the comment section if you guys have any suggestions. We're going to continue to apply our acrylic, super basic acrylic application for this process. I am doing multiple beads, more than 3 for sure, specifically because this is a longer nail. Now, if you are more capable or using a bigger brush, definitely go ahead and cut that down. For my personal preference, I like to do smaller beads, which consist of either small or medium-sized beads. And in order to cover the entire surface to the thickness that we want, we are going to be doing lots of beads. So again, that's just my personal preference. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off that nail, always making sure you are cleaning up that cuticle area as best as possible. And then we're gonna continue the process on the rest of the nails. For our acrylic application, we are going in and applying the medium-sized bead first. I like to place this near the bottom. That way we're gonna start off with a really good base thickness of our liking or of our client's liking. It's always really important to know kind of what your client wants and needs, because if they are having longer nails, you wanna make them slightly thicker, but also if they're rough on their nails, they will need them thicker and nice and structured. Now, I personally have had tons of clients come through my chair that want them nice, thin, and a little bit more natural looking. So when I do come across those clients, I always make sure that I still make my apex nice and structured, and then we go in with the thickness of their desire throughout the rest of the nail. So always make sure that you are still making that apex nice and thick where it needs to be, and then going in with whatever thickness that they want. I like to do my nails a little bit more on the flatter side as well, so I will take that into consideration as well. And I know a lot of people like to do them a little bit on the thicker or rounder side near the cuticle area and the apex, so do note that as well. Just all personal preference and what your client wants and needs as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish off that acrylic application. I'm going to let you guys kind of watch the process of this. I have super in-depth videos explaining exactly how to apply it. So if you are interested in that process, I will leave those videos linked down below as well, so you guys can easily access those. If you are a beginner nail tech, definitely check out my beginner basics videos. Those go super in depth, from acrylic application to shaping to picking up your bead, which is super important, especially when you are starting off. Now that everything is fully cured, nice and dry, I'm gonna go ahead and start my filing process. I am using this extra long bit. I believe it's from Kiara Sky. I have come to love this bit. I always wondered what the heck I was gonna need this super long one for, and it has definitely come very much so in handy when doing these super long nails. So I'm gonna be using it around the cuticle area and then just kind of rough filing the surface of the nail, making sure that everything is nice, smooth, even, and straight. So we're gonna go ahead and focus on that. I am using my e-file at a speed of about 12,000 RPMs. Do note that I am using a not polished e-file for reference. I'm gonna go ahead and go around that cuticle area nicely so that the acrylic is nice and flush to the nail. When doing this on an actual client, this is gonna help prevent any lifting issues. You can debulk it if you applied it a little bit too thick to your liking. And I feel like it just makes everything look so nice, clean, and crisp when you go in and seal that cuticle. And then of course, when you go in and file the rest of the nail, always make sure you are distributing an even amount of pressure throughout the entire process so that you don't overfile any of the areas and have to go back in and infill it with some more acrylic. So always know you want to stabilize your hand with your pinky so that you are able to fully file that nice and stable. Grip the finger perfectly with your opposite hand. For me, as an example, I use my right hand to file and my left hand to stabilize the finger, and I am gripping that sucker on there. I am fully gripping the finger, but also because this is a practice hand, I'm also making sure that I kind of press down on the nail itself so that it doesn't move, wiggle, or too much and mess up my filing process. Next, I'm going to be going in with a hand file. This is my Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick file. Always, always, always my favorite hand file to use. We're going to go in on the sides and always, again, make sure you stabilize that finger, holding sturdy the opposite side so that the fingernail does not wiggle everywhere and cause discomfort on your client. I'm going to go in very carefully and file those sides nice and even and straight so that we get our shape super, super perfect and crisp. Now do note that I always go in with my acrylic and try to apply it nice and straight on those sides. I'm constantly wiping them with my brush so that I don't have to overfile. So this process is very minimal if you do exactly that at the beginning when you are applying your acrylic. Next, we're going to be flipping the hand around to look at the nails from the client's perspective. This is always a game changer when it comes to shaping your nails, applying the nail tips, and just making sure that everything is nice and straight. This is the angle that you want to see every single little detail from, because when your client is looking at their nails, that is the view that they're going to see. And if something is messed up, they will call you out on it, and we want to make sure that we catch it before they catch it. So if anything is crooked at this point, you want to go ahead and straighten it. I am just filing that tip, making sure that the shape is nice and crisp. And then I'm going to be going in also at the tip and kind of just making the tip smidge more clean. And you're just simply filing the underneath of that. That gets rid of any little excess white kind of shavings from the tip, but also slims it down to make the shape a little bit more crisp. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to be taking this extra long mandrel bit from Profiles Backstage with the sanding band in medium grit, and I'm just going to file the surface. This is going to be a really good alternative to buffers if you do not like using buffers. It's going to file it nice and smooth, but it's also going to show you any areas that you need to work a little bit more on when it comes to filing and shaping the nail. So I like to use this on extra long nails. It's kind of something that I just recently started implementing, and I am not mad at it. It makes everything super, super smooth. Next, I'm going to be cleansing the surface of my practice hand. I am using a lint-free wipe and a little bit of alcohol on that. Very, very carefully cleaning off all that excess dust. Since this is a silicone hand, the dust does stick on there. But as you can see, it is coming back to life by simply just wiping it off. You might have to do this maybe once or twice, but it works so perfect and it makes everything look super, super clean. Next, I'm going to be taking this beautiful teal color and we're going to be doing kind of a snakeskin type of design. Super easy. A lot of these nails are going to be very basic, but so cute. Very easy to create, especially if you're a beginner nail tech. We're going in with Blossom Gel first. You can use whichever one you use, whatever brand you use. I'm using the not polished one. And then you're going to go directly in before curing any of it. You want to go in with your colors. Do whatever design you desire. I am doing pretty much like the snakeskin type of design, which entails longer strokes and then tiny little dots, which is what I'm doing. And I'm kind of alternating the colors just to kind of mix it all together. You want to let it blossom and bloom. And as soon as you are content with that design, throw the hand in the nail lamp and cure it. You want to make sure you freeze it as soon as you like the design. Otherwise, it's going to keep moving, blossoming, and blooming. And we want it to keep it as pretty as possible. Now for our ring finger, we're going to be doing a Frenchie to begin with. Here is the little hack that everyone needs in their life. If you struggle doing Frenchies, this is always the easiest way to do it. You want to do essentially what is a backwards A. So as you can see, it has the letter V and then the line going across it to what would be a letter A. And then you're just going to curve out those connecting lines, and so easy, so perfect. You will get the most stunning Frenchie every single time. So if you've ever struggled to hand draw or freehand draw a smile line, this is going to be your best friend. I'm gonna go ahead and infill the rest of the surface of the nail with that same light mint color. And to do so, I'm just using my 3D brush. This has been my handy dandy 3D brush for the longest time. And I love to use it for cleaning up, for 3D obviously, and also for making an entire surface one color with gel paint, gel liners, or gel polish even, if I'm mixing the colors together. Next, I'm going to be taking this makeup sponge and we're going to be going in with the darker blue. And we're going to be doing an ombre. Super easy. You will probably have to do this if you are using a less opaque color and go in multiple times. I want to say I did about 3 layers of this, and every single time I was focusing more and more on the tip of the nail. And that is the area that you want it to be a little bit more opaque, a little bit more vibrant in the color that you are using. And I think it just turned out so cute, and it is the easiest way to get a nice ombre color without overly struggling. Again, once you are content with that, go ahead and cure it in the light. Every single layer you want to make sure you are curing in the light. So after the first one, after your second one, and after your third, fourth, fifth, you want to go ahead and cure. Now for our index finger, I went in with a little bit more Blossom Gel. And for this one, we're going to be doing a little bit more of a marbleized design. Super easy. Pick up your colors, place it on there, let it blossom, bloom, and you'll get the prettiest marble color with all of those colors that you picked. Now for the middle finger, we are going to be doing kind of an aura type of design. I know this has been super popular as well. I'm going to be doing that with the same makeup sponge that we created the ombre on the ring finger. Super simple process. Add a thin layer of that, make it nice and diffused around the edges, cure it in the light, and then this time we're going to be working our way towards the center to making that a little bit more opaque. Now in hindsight, I didn't even have to do this because I ended up covering it with more nail art, but at least you guys get to learn how to create this with a sponge, right? I'm just gonna make myself feel a little bit better because that was not a waste. This was a learning opportunity. Next, with our flower, this has been super trending all over social media using 3D carving gel or 3D molding gel. However, your girl couldn't find it in clear. I didn't have any in my nail stash. So the next best thing, my specialty, was acrylic. So this color that I'm using is actually called Vanilla Cream from Not Polish, and I believe it's one of their like see-through colors from one of their collections, and absolutely loved it. It's a little bit more of a translucent milky white, if you will. So we're going to be doing our petals with that. Quick little hack: if you are a pro at doing 3D nail art or you want to speed up the process, add a few drops of acetone into your monomer. Do note that this is only for 3D purposes. Do not use that method on any other acrylic application, only on 3D nail art. So now that that's said, we're going to be creating our petal. I am using a bigger bead than I typically do when doing flowers because we are going to be creating a larger flower. Therefore, more product, bigger petals, and bigger flower. We're going to be doing the same petal throughout. I'm doing one in the center going upwards, 2 on the sides, and then 2 on the bottom as well. And I'm pretty much fanning out the base of our petal, and then we're going to be creating a little point. And you can always make it a little bit more crispy with the tip of your brush, and you can always add texture with a drier brush. So always note that you can do all kinds of different things using acrylic as well. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. Super simple petals. I am making sure that they are all touching, so you want to ensure that the bead that you are going to be going in with a wet bead is already dry. So I'm kind of alternating that or waiting until it is dry before I go in with the next petal. I'm going to be taking a teal color from Not Polish, and we're going to be adding that to the center of our petals. I'm doing it very lightly, not going in with a crazy amount. I pretty much just want to add a little bit of shading to create some more depth in the center of our petals. And I think this is such an easy way to do so instead of having to use gel polish, but you can always do it with gel polish as well. I just love using acrylic for 3D nail art, so we're just going to go in with what we know. And then of course wait for it to dry and then go in with any other little details that you're going to go in with. Next, I'm going to be taking this glass gel from Profiles Backstage. We're going to be using that as base for attaching our little crystals, pearls, and caviar beads. I'm going with lots of gold details, of course some pearls, and I'm kind of just placing them in the center of our flower and around as well. And this is going to kind of translate on the rest of the nails as well, just to make everything nice and cohesive. I'm using this crystal picker from Not Polish. I got it a really long time ago and it works perfectly. I like to spread it out with the metal tip part, and then we place the gem, jewel, or whatever I'm placing on with the wax part. Now for the ring finger, we're going to be going in with the drop gel from Profiles Backstage. You can use any type of 3D gel that you have on hand as well. Make sure it's nice and thick though. And I'm going to be doing dots down the sides on both sides. And then we're going to be creating that like seashell type of design that is super popular as well right now. This is a really good way of creating that super easily. So you're just going to be doing dots down the sides, and then with a liner brush, just go ahead and drag it to the direction that you want it, and perfectly even lines every single time. So definitely a really good way of doing this super quick and not having to do every single line and cure it every single time. So you could do all of them at once and then cure in the light for a full 60 seconds. Now for this little detail, I did want to include words behind the design. So we're going to be encapsulating some of the 3D little gems that we're applying. So I am using a concoction of pixie crystals, some caviar beads, some little seashells that I have, and some little crushed up gold specks that I have as well, cured in the light in place. And then I'm actually going to encapsulate it with some of that drop gel, and I'm making it a nice little bubble around it. I thought that would be such a cute little touch. I've seen this done so many times before, and I've done it myself on clients as well, and I thought it was so cute and perfect for this set. So we're going to do just that. I'm focusing on encapsulating every single area of that design so that none of it kind of sticks out and gets stuck. We're going to be adding a little bit more of those little embellishments on the ring finger as well, and on the index finger. I'm kind of just using my imagination for these. Super easy, going around the smile line. And for the index finger, we're going to be placing some near the marble and some up top.
This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made, yeah. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones. Day one. Showed up. Day one before the glow up. Don't need to ask for them, show love. Don't need to ask for them, show love. Show love. Izquierda pa' derecha, dale bien pa' acá. Yo quiero que tú bailes, dale sin parar. Todo mundo, hey, quiero.
Now that everything is done, always make sure to fully cure in the light. We're going to be going in with top coat. I'm actually using stain resistant top coat from Profiles Backstage. I ran out of Gloss It, so here we are. This is a really good top coat for stain resistant purposes. I feel like I'm slightly wasting it on my Handiana because your girl doesn't need any type of stain resistance. She's not going to be doing any type of hard work or anything like that to protect her nails from stains. So definitely need to stock back up on Gloss It from Nail Polish. and absolutely love both top coats. So if you are looking for a good stain resistant top coat, this one is a really good one. I use it on my toes all the time, and it definitely protects my toes from any stainage, especially when I'm wearing white toes. We're gonna go on top of the entire surface, all the embellishments, all the 3D nail art, all of it. We're going in with top coat, making it super shiny, glossy, and perfect for all of the tropical vibes this set is giving.
Don't forget the ones that made ya. Deep south sweating out flavor. This is for my day one, day one. This is for my day one. Don't forget the ones that made ya. Deep south sweating out flavor. This is for my day one, day one.
And as always, curing that in the light for a full 60 seconds. I like to do 2 rounds just to be safe. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.